Freelance is a brand new movie hitting digital and VOD on January 28th. This was sent to me over by the kind folks at Gravitas Ventures as an early screener to check out just before the initial release date, which this video, as it goes live, will be like 1 or 2 days before it releases. But what did I think of Freelance? It's an interesting one, I'll put it that way. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out my thoughts on Freelance. My name's Mike. If you're brand new here, if you're coming back, thank you for tuning in once again. This movie clocks in at around roughly 1 hour and 51 minutes. And it tells the story of a character called Katie, who is a video editor. That is her job, doing freelance work. And one day she gets a mysterious message about a new job coming online from an anonymous source. This anonymous source essentially sends her material to edit snuff films. Now, while she's editing these, she's starting to question if these are real, if they're fake, and this also starts to intertwine in her personal life. Is this wholly unique premise? No, not as such, because we've seen this before, but there were certain elements that I did really like. So going into a few of those positives right off the bat, so I think that Nicole Pastor, who plays Katie, now I think as the movie goes on, she does give a good performance. At the beginning of the runtime and kind of the roughly between the first, second it starts playing up to about 40 minutes, I was a little bit hit and miss on this actress, I'll be honest. There were certain scenes I thought she did really well, but there was other scenes I thought not as such. I couldn't really grasp onto this character. So in that front, I think it just took a little bit of time, but as it went along, I did start to enjoy her performance, and I think that she was well casted for Freelance. I also think the editing, for most part, is very clean and crisp, and there's some really unique camera angles used that I actually particularly enjoyed. To give you an example, there's a few certain shots where it's focused on the keyboard, this really like gaming kind of setup keyboard as such. And you can just see that, like the keys being tapped, but it's shot from like an angle here, so you can see the full keyboard kind of stretched across here, or even an angle in particular where it's showing like the fan starting up in the PC as well. Again, just like little technical details like that help to really sell the illusion of her being a video editor. Also, just given that more technical side to Freelance, which I think it really needed, and I'll give the director credit, John Balaj, who did a really good job with the direction as well. Again, I thought was really cool. Now, there is also a few practical effects used in Freelance. I'm not going to tell you as and when those happen, but what they are used and what is given, again, I think is done pretty well. Unfortunately, with Freelance, this is where my negatives come into play. Firstly, is the runtime. So this is, as I said, 1 hour and 51 minutes. For this kind of premise, I think maybe 90 minutes, 95 minutes tops would have sold this movie far better, because I say up to about the 45-minute mark, the pacing was starting to drag. I appreciate that it's given an introduction to our characters so we can learn about this world, learn about who they are, and the supporting cast too, and what their roles are, because there is a supporting cast member, Jordan Fraser Trumbull, who plays Kevin, who's kind of like Katie's friends with benefits, let me just put it in like a PG term. So we get introduced to him, we get introduced to the landlord, and there's not many characters here to really give a big mystery and intrigue, because with the twists that do happen towards the second and third act, I'm going to say you guys are probably going to see this coming from a mile off, and the movie kind of loses the suspense in that aspect, because ultimately with the characters that we're introduced to, someone is causing this, right? But also the other fact is, and I guess it is suspending disbelief 100%, but as a real job, I've documented on this channel before, I work with fraud. Now, in relation with that, it comes to the point where when Katie gets this anonymous email, at first she clearly says out loud, right, as an audience we're watching, she's like, yeah, I think this is a scam. So she messages back and she's like, have you guys got any work, any websites I can view, to like see if you're, a kosher candidate to work alongside with? They reply simply the word no. Now at that point I would be like, Okay, this is definitely a bit suspicious. I definitely probably wouldn't proceed with this. I appreciate the character was in a predicament. She needed money for her rent and she was struggling in terms of financially. So they're offering her, a financial lucrative offer. So, of course, she's going to take that deal as such. She's going to be like, wow, okay, this is great. I could really benefit from this money. But at the same time, she's worked with previous clients that have work catalog and biographies that she knows is trustable and reputable clients, but she goes for this scammer. So I was a bit like, I don't know. Then also with the editing, with the snuff films, I think some of the reaction editing there isn't the best completely, and it didn't really fully sell me on the premise that was being told. And again, I just think this movie drags out a little too much than what it actually needed to. So my overall score would probably be between a 1.5 and a 2 stars out of 5. However, I can totally appreciate there will be a lot of people here that actually really enjoy this movie, that there will be an audience for Freelance, and one that I think people may even have this on, like a yearly rewatch, for example, or like an underrated gem or under the radar hit kind of thing. So if you do, hey, that's great. I implore everyone to have their own opinion, but I just wanted to share mine. If you've seen Freelance or this maybe interests you, well, let me know down below in the comment section so we can continue the discussion down there. Big thanks to all my awesome patrons who help to support the channel. You can also, from clicking the link down below in the description box, from only £2 per month. And in the meantime, if you haven't seen these videos of mine, well, click over here, have a bit of a deep dive. Till next time that I see you guys, I'll be seeing you later.